Hello there, Dota 2 aficionados. Welcome back to the Trent and Zyori podcast every other Tuesday. We are back again, and we've got some updates for you, kind of just a little bit. There's some events, not event madness as we had before, and of course, there's a lot of talk about North American Dota, CIS Dota, South American Dota, per usual, as we've had yet another organization make the exodus, Trent. That's the first talking point today. Crazy leaving esports. How are you, buddy? How you feeling? How you doing? It's been a while since we've chatted, since we haven't cast anything.
That's true. It actually has been a while.
It's been 2 weeks. I think the last podcast. Yeah, 2 Tuesdays ago. We got a pattern here, dude.
2 weeks. What have I been doing? I finished up whatever I was casting. I forget.
Was it ESL?
Maybe. I don't know. It was a big blur. The last casting blur, I'm still recovering from that. I feel like I finally recovered. Like I'm back in human shape after the various time zones and everything. So now I'm streaming again during the day.
I see.
So that's nice.
So you jet lagged yourself with...
Oh, I was sick 2 weeks ago. Then Slack's filled in.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's been so long.
That's why it's been so long. Yeah.
You're right. It's been more than 2 weeks.
I was quote-unquote sick.
I forgot about that.
And then I was streaming the whole time because I was sick. Then I could barely talk the day before, and then I was like alive the next day. But Slacks had already agreed to save me.
A whole month might have gone by since we've had a meaningful conversation. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Slacks messaged me and said, "Yo, I'm here for the podcast." 2 minutes later, "Yo, you see this fuck is awake and streaming right now?" Those are his exact words on Discord. I was just like, yeah, I guess he's not as sick as he thought, LOL. And he said, okay, with like 7 Ks. And then, he's weird in the morning. He's like, it takes him like a coffee and half of a podcast to really get woken up. So he was still in his drunken stupor of like, I'm glad there was a little buffer there. I told him a little earlier than it was because I expected him to be late. I metagamed it, you see, Trent.
Yeah, he does need some time. He's definitely a slow starter.
Yeah,
in the mornings.
Well, anyway, buddy, the podcast has been good without you for the last couple of weeks. The Slacks one was fantastic. He got blasted for saying something positive about Grant. I don't even remember the context, but there were some really angry tweets about that. I don't know if you caught any of those. Rhyme called
a little
him
bit,
out. Yeah, that was exciting. I enjoyed reading those threads. The Richard Lewis podcast followed the week after. Pretty good.
You guys went on a fucking mission,
dude.
Holy shit. I went to watch it this morning and I put it on like fast speed. And then I'm like, this is 2.5 hours long. I listened to like 40 minutes. And I was just like, all right, well,
it's insane. Yeah. I was not prepared in the same way that I thought I needed to be. Every other thing that I've hosted or like podcasts that I've done, I've had a set of general bullet points of like, these are things that I want to touch on. Like, okay, reminder, this thing happened. Let's talk about it, and then I riff off of that one little line of notes. With Richard, we got through about half of the notes that I had prepared because he talks so much more than anyone else I've ever interviewed that like to interview him, you really have to like inject yourself. You've got to interrupt and say, Rich, not Rich. Like you gotta, or else he'll just keep going. And it's just a different beast. And it was a lot of fun and I loved it. And it gets pretty heavy, like in the middle part. I started asking him about social media and negativity and just like, how he was coping with everything. And it got pretty real in the middle there. And it's that kind of shit where you're like, fuck, there's hundreds of people watching right now. I feel like we're both about to choke up. This is getting like personal. So I liked it a lot, but 2.5 hours, a lot of shit gets said and, did my best with it. Would love to do a part 2, and I think I would prepare in a slightly different manner. But I was glad that he came on and was so generous with his time, dude. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's just kind of like everyone trying to get stuff to do. I mean, he's in the UK, which I also didn't know until that, and so they've now re-entered a lot of lockdown stuff, right? They like put a bunch of their restrictions back in place recently, which I think he was talking about. So
let me ask you this, Trent. Since you watched the first 40 minutes, did you buy his rendition of the Loda story? Did you? Feel
I didn't get to that. That's like right before I stopped.
Oh God. Okay, I thought that was.
It must have been right before because I got to as far as him talking about like the lockdown and stuff, and then the how how he'd been screwed over by some people, but not WSOE, and you guys talking about WSOE, and then it was like just you were finishing at WSOE.
Okay, and maybe it's in the first hour, but it's at the tail end of that hour mark. And dude, I don't know. It was funny because I didn't even really want to bring that up because it seems so cliche, and like that's the meme that whenever
welcome to my Dota podcast. Let us discuss why you're known in Dota.
Right. So I didn't even want to bring it up, and it just kind of naturally came up a little bit when I think I asked him, would you make Dota content again? You know, you did WSOE. Any chance that you want to do something like that in the future? And he goes, I don't know, man. This is like the tattoo I've got on my fucking forehead. Anytime my face shows up, it's there. That's the whole Reddit discussion. That's the whole Twitter discussion. And he wasn't wrong. He kind of called it. The Reddit thread of the episode was just people talking about that incident and saying, various other neutral or like kind of presumably negative things about him. And I don't know. He said that's just a big deterrent. What's the point of making content for an audience that doesn't really want you? So, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I was him.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what his answer was to the situation. Now, obviously, I really don't remember much about that situation in general, other than it sounded like they both kind of fucked up a little, but in the end, putting hands on someone is bad.
Yes, I wish I could have been there to just be a silent observer. That's one of those incidents that, man, if I had a time machine, if I could go back and just have my own account. But yeah, it sounds like it to me, it was like a partially a misunderstanding. One of those things where it's like he made a joke from a sign that Kelly made, and he didn't realize that Kelly made it. So, that things got taken slightly out of context. They got heated. And then he said that he didn't really blame Loda that much and that they had a fairly positive conversation at the end of it. And that he really blamed like DreamHack and the other parties for how they handled most of the stuff around it. So, I don't know. It's like I wasn't there. That's one of those things. I'm happy to let him tell his side. And then, that's it. I'm not some fucking moderator. I'm just here to try to, get some interesting information out of the guy. So, yeah, I've got a soft spot for Richard. I got a couple DMs from people that were just, like, how the fuck could you give this guy a platform? And, it's a little bit expected. And we had some nice exchanges, and I think I came to some common ground with some people that were a little on the angrier side about it. But, what are you going to do, buddy? That's captivating content for you, I guess. What are you going to do?
Well, everyone obviously needs to go back and listen to that. I'm probably gonna listen to it because I was very interested. I only stopped because I was gonna start streaming, but it was going well.
I would definitely put it on
like
1.5 speed.
Good.
I think that's a good recommendation. But
I mean, I just always do when it's podcasts.
Yeah, I do it pretty frequently these days.
And I don't ever listen to podcasts. So ever. Don't know why I'm on one.
So anyway, let's talk about Crazy dropping esports. Another one down. This is officially the last org outside of Evil Geniuses in Dota to make an exit in North America. So bad news bears. Moon Meander went on a pretty good tweet string about it. Did you happen to read those?
I did.
General thoughts. I'm going to read them here in a second. I got to pull them up. I don't want to misquote Mr. Moon Meander, but thoughts.
I mean, I can read it. I have it up.
Okay.
Basically, sad that COVID resulted in a huge delay of the DBC League this year. It caused the second last sponsor, NA, to leave the scene under such unfortunate circumstances. Thanks for everything, Team Crazy. You guys are a great org, hardworking bunch that don't deserve this. 120 million goes into Valve's pocket from the community, while the only form of communication you'll get will be their $40 million tweet soon. Meanwhile, no tournament has been set for NA, has been confirmed for the rest of 2020. Even the DBC League is not clearly laid out. Why? I don't know why no one else is speaking out. Am I the only crazy, no pun intended, one here? Nice. I understand I'm risking my career speaking out against Valve, but I feel the silent few who have profited the most should be trying to help the scene. I've seen Han die the exact same way. Sounds all pretty damn accurate, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with anything of what he's saying. I was pretty lenient the last time we had this discussion because it's still an evolving situation. And I guess I appreciate that's an evolving situation, but we're at the time point now where I'm really shocked that there hasn't been like another statement or another like, why can't we just have an online tournament for like 80K?
Yeah.
Or 50K? Like 20K. Can we have a 20K group stage, double bracket, BTS? Like, why isn't that just happening?
Yeah, I wanted to double check this morning when I was doing a little research, and I looked at Wikipedia, and there is not much coming up. We've got the One Esports Jakarta 2020 event, and that's November 23rd through 29th. And I
That's
guess
more than a month away.
Yeah, and I guess they're going to be
2 months
inviting
away,
teams.
basically.
Like they had a Kuala Lumpur qualifier and an Indonesia qualifier, and both those happened in March. And there's no other qualifiers listed, so I don't even know if there's going to be online matches associated with this. The only teams that we know out of the 12 are Boom Esports and X Reality Rift, which I don't even know if that's a team. It was Nuts, Hustla, KYXY, Alacrity, and TBD. I don't even know who played. They had Drew when they won the qualifier in March, and I guess he's not there anymore. So that's the recap of One Esports Jakarta. I'm sure information TBD. Have you heard anything about that? Have you been like invited to cast it or anything there?
No, I think that's still far away. That's probably just not going to happen. Or I mean, it's just not going to be decided yet. Likely. Last time it was Lyrical and someone. Owen and Fogged and Lyrical and Winter, I think, did it.
Oh, on site, right?
But yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised we just haven't heard anything else.
Yeah, and we've got ESL. What is it? They're doing some German league, and then
There's
got
a lot
the
of European stuff
2020
that's happening right now.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
There's ESL 1 Germany 2020. That's ongoing. That's like the one solace that we have. But I guess I'm so jaded. I've gotten to this point now where it's like, okay, yeah, we know that Europe and China are the two super healthy regions of Dota. They've still got some 6-figure tournaments going. 400K prize pool for ESL 1 Germany. That's legit, right? Qualifiers or group stage rather going on through October 20th. They just started yesterday, and then playoffs will be the 23rd through 1st. So, man, how do we get in on this sweet action? How come I never cast any ESL remotely? Is this in a studio somewhere, or is it just
they're using
remote?
the Australian crew and doing a panel and then remote casters.
The Australians. Okay, I see QO, Denog, Fluke, and Godot. Very nice.
Yeah, they were really good. I liked working with them. They were funny.
Yeah, they are.
So it was like, yeah, me and Lyrical did Thailand, and now Owen Fogged and Lacoste and Gareth. I'm not sure if there's anyone else are doing the this one.
So, and what's going on in China? We've got Dota Pit China is happening right now. That's a 90K prize pool and like roughly 2 weeks worth of coverage. That wraps up in about another week. And what's the big Chinese tournament that you've been looking at replays for?
That one just finished. The one, it was like China won something. I forget what it was called. That one's done. There's another one that's starting up, although I don't see it listed on Wikipedia.
Was it this one, the DPL CDA Professional League Season 2, 185K, 1.3 million?
Might be the one I'm thinking of. Or maybe they're all over for right now. I could have swore LGG was just playing something else, though.
There are some smaller tournaments.
Oh, wait, Dota Pit, right? Dota Pit's happening.
Yeah, Dota Pit. Right.
Yeah, that's the one that's happening right now.
Okay, that's it. It's just Dota Pit. That's all we got.
Yeah.
All right. I thought there was more. My bad. So, yeah, it's not a lot. The two healthiest regions have something to play in right now. And C, SA, NA, and sort of CIS don't really have much going on. CIS gets lumped in with Europe, so I don't feel as bad for them. At least they've got good scrim partners. I think from a sponsorship perspective, it's always been rough. It continues to be rough. One important note about Crazy, though, Trent, is that they didn't just dump their Dota 2 team. They dumped the whole kit and caboodle. They're just out. And they said this year was really challenging and eventful. It's time to focus on the next chapter, thanks to our Dota 2 and CSGO teams on everything they did to undertake the banner. Crazy League of Legends, different season means we plan to have a break in between the two league seasons, so we timed contracts accordingly. They're an amazing bunch, and we'll see what the next League of Legends season has in store for us. So, yeah, we're officially at 0 players getting salaries in North America.
Well, except for EG. If you count that.
I don't. But
okay,
yes,
that's fair.
You're right. Because NA is so like just go here. This is what's really sad. All right. Go to that link, Wikipedia. It's just the Dota 2 portal for teams sorted by region. If you look at overview, there are 3 active teams listed for North America. Zoomers, Evil Geniuses, and Quincy Crew. That's it, man.
Nuts.
That's it. And like that's not totally fair. Is this crazy squad going to stay together and keep playing, or are these players done? You know, are they going to go business associates?
I assume so. Yeah, this is where the like Zlato's not listed there. I see them when I click on it though, I guess. So whatever. Kind of counts.
So
I guess they're not notable enough to
and-
be on the first page.
Well, and I guess some time has lapsed since we talked. September 7th, Business Associates is donezo. Did you see that announcement? Fear announced that they'll be taking a break from competitive Dota. Part of the team will continue playing together under a new tag. So
yeah, assumedly they just don't want to do anything that screws with their DPC points. If those magically
in theory.
exist.
See, that's what I mean though, right? You mentioned it earlier. I'm surprised there hasn't been a follow-up from Valve. I felt like that last post was actually a good first step, but it requires like 2 or 3 follow-up steps of like, here's some idea of what we're doing with the DPC points. Like, I think we're getting to the point where the longer you sit on these DPC points, the more useless they become. And eventually I think the only option is just to pay people out some dollar per point type thing per team and say,
yeah,
this makes up for it. Sorry, whatever.
My only thought is that they're really focused on making DPC happen in January or February somewhere.
I hope so.
Right? Because that's what they said they wanted to do, which is still super ambitious if they're talking LAN. They need to be having DPC regional leagues starting in January. And honestly, they should have been starting in like November or December.
At what point do you think we're getting to where you could actually do a LAN with no audience? You could get players on LAN for, let's say, 12 teams. Is there any country that you could do that in February? Could you bubble them?
I just don't know why.
What do you mean why?
So why are we bubbling them? Why don't we just do it online? Like seriously.
Well, so we can have cross-regional Dota and do something with these DPC.
Oh, you mean like full international travel? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, all right. So let's say 16 teams, full international. Could we do a major, let's say, or a super major, let's call it, that wraps up the last season? Could we do that in the next 3 months reasonably with a bubble strategy somewhere?
No.
Why not? They're doing it in most of the major sports. It's sort of going okay, except the Vikings and a couple other teams that have been infected.
I don't know. I just think we should just do the stupid regional leagues first. I think they should abandon everything of the last DPC. I don't think they should be doing LANs yet. I think it's very irresponsible to be doing LANs right now.
So by abandon, do you have an alternative to the payout per point model? Is that what you're endorsing?
I would rather just pay it out personally.
Is that what you're endorsing at this point?
I endorse the pay it out. It's been too long. It sucks, but I think you pay it out.
Because the longer it goes, the rosters are less stable, the less likely you'll be able to even do regional events that are meaningful. Like, let's say it takes 2 more months. Fear comes back out of retirement after not really practicing for 3 months? Like, that kind of uncertainty is the issue.
I mean, now TNC has lost March too, right? So where's that leave him?
Sure. Yeah. I
mean, give the guy his money, you know? Pay out DPC points. At this point, it's just not fair to give that to the team.
Right. And it's also not fair just to penalize the teams based on what's written in the black and white in the code book of changing players, right? Because this is not a normal set of circumstances where, we have our normal choices and freedoms. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's diminishing returns, though, just sitting on this indefinitely. And there is that degree of not saying anything causes this festering of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD, if you will. And it gets worse, man.
Is that the opposite of FOMO?
I guess, dude.
The FUD?
There's fucking FUD everywhere. And that's... Yeah. So even if it's just a Band-Aid solution, America's been printing money, man. That's a Band-Aid solution. Let's just print some Dota in all these regions that need it right now. SA, NA, and SEA specifically. Deja mentioned in chat that Kezu said on stream that the Crazy Squad will stick together. So it'll probably be similar to the Business Associates type thing. But so there's probably more like 5 teams.
You want to hear my really wild idea here? I think that these regional leagues that should be starting like now should have nothing to do with the DPC. There's my other crazy idea. I think they should just be having regional leagues. And if the teams are like, well, these aren't free DPC points, I don't want to play. Well, guess what? I guess you probably have enough cash, man. So like that's who would play? The teams that need money.
Yeah.
Like, and then it gets the scene going again. It starts to try and get some of this regional stuff going. Just like, it's not that hard. I mean, yes, it's a huge undertaking to make any tournament, sure, but like, holy shit, it's been a pretty long time, man. And like, usually the hardest resource to do is cash, and that's the one thing that they have a fuck ton of.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I think that's the bottleneck. If you came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, here's $500,000. Use this as efficiently as possible to generate the most Dota matches within whatever regions you think need the most help," we could move on that pretty fucking quick. We could get teams like that. We could come up with a system and some content and, do things pretty affordable. I heard of, I guess I shouldn't name drop, but of someone who's run tournaments in North America that sent a proposal that was basically like, "Yo, I'm breaking even on this. Here's the budget. There's zero profit. It's all just going back into talent hires and we're doing this for the love of the game. This is as good as a deal you're ever gonna get. So I'll send this proposal. If they ignore it, then I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it because this is already as generous as I can go." So. Yeah. I know that there are voices out there that have stepped up and said, "Hey, if we're talking about handing out some money to run events and bolster up the scene, I've got some ideas. Here's how I would use it. I want to be very efficient. We're not in this for profit." So there are players like that. I think BTS is among them. I don't know for sure. I don't know what their comms to Valve are like, but I would imagine that they have reached out and said, "Hey, we like events. We've got a big Twitch channel. We've got a big studio and talent on site. I have talked to Gods a little bit, and he's definitely expressed interest in doing what they can to try to bolster the NA scene. But he was pretty quick to mention that it was not a great value proposition. He said that they really don't make much money on North American Dota, and it's a stretch to pay casters premier rates or whatever. They're sort of they can't afford to hire tier 1 talent to cover it. Like straight up, they lose money on the content if they do that.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
It's hard because on the one hand, I'm definitely compassionate about, I get it. It's really hard right now. I 100% agree, but the problem is it's just been too long. I look at my little date thing and I'm like, oh my God, it's October. It's been 7 months of lockdown.
Yeah, the time is flying by.
Whereas Valve are the people who I know when there's something they want to do, they can do it in 4 days. So what is that? Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
like, these are such competent people that are so good at shit that like no one just wants to do it, I guess? I don't know. I mean, I get the battle pass, sure. And we talked about that as being a decent reason before. But now it just feels like they want us to do it, I guess. So maybe we should be doing it more. I don't really know what that answer is.
Yeah.
But I suppose I could probably be doing more to try and save Dota.
I
I'm
guess
just a bystander.
I mean, I've been making an active effort over the last 6 months or so to contact sponsors in general, just trying to build a sales network both for events and for Dendy's team Bait. And it has been a pretty unsuccessful endeavor. Some people are receptive to esports, and within that small sphere, they're just kind of like, why Dota over any other esports opportunity? Why should I sponsor your tier 2 Dota team when I could sponsor a tier 2 Rainbow Six team that's supported by this giant league and has revenue streams and stuff, or make a play in League of Legends or Rocket League or all these other opportunities, or just go straight to influencers, right? There's this whole demographic of people that kind of like Slacks now that are just streaming on Twitch, your Richard Campbells, and they are super valuable to companies in terms of like endorsing products and marketing shit. They convert better than teams in a lot of cases, I think, unless you're like a giant, TSM, Team Liquid kind of level brand, EG with that kind of prestige. So the sponsor interest is not great. I'm not some hero, but I've definitely been trying, Trent. I haven't just been sitting here, and the results have been subpar. I've gotten offered a couple of free chairs, talked to a lot of betting sponsors, had to field multiple offers from betting sponsors, but like even energy drinks and stuff. Like Monster is pretty tapped out. They sponsor a lot of shit already. They're not expanding. If anything, they're cutting back a little bit. Understandably so. Monster has sponsored BTS and DreamHack, which are both studios that have put that money directly back into events and talent's hands. So, like, Monster has been a huge player
True.
for Dota 2 specifically. And can't blame them for kind of being like, hey, I think we've nailed it. Do we need the
we're like the biggest names in the space already. Why are we dropping more? Like we have some of the best teams are Monster.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all unfortunate, but it is a time where you feel like I see why Valve hates that idea of people talking like they have unlimited money. As I say, even though we have a lot of money, it just doesn't work that way. That's why we have money, is because we don't think like that. But sometimes subsidies are pretty helpful. And I'm starting to really worry about, who was it? Was it Slacks or someone else that was talking about how this is like a late game play of, if you build your battle passes like this and everything, it's just getting less value over time, and it's a strategy to try to milk the audience when you know something's at the end of its life cycle and you're just trying to cash out before it dies. So like, it's a 10-year-old game now. Is it worth investing in, or should they just kind of take the money and run, and then 5 years from now rock our worlds with Dota 3 or Dota VR or whatever the fuck it is?
Dota VR, God.
Or do they just let it
as far
ride
away from my teammates as possible? I don't want to be in VR with them.
Or does Valve just let it ride, and we all finally digest and realize the fact that Dota is a blip on the radar compared to the Steam sales, and even though $120 million is a lot of money, it's not like all the money, and Valve is not beholden to us, and they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. We have a lot of players, though, guys. Dota's a pretty popular game still.
It is. What's like
got that going for
8
us.
million active players in the last month? That's still a pretty big number.
No, it's not that many.
We'll open up the client and look, big dog. I thought it was like 7.5 last time I checked. I rounded up.
Isn't the all-time peak like 8?
I don't know. Now I don't even know what number I was thinking of. Look, 7.6 million unique players in the last month at Dota2.com.
Oh, all right. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, look at that. I shouldn't have
all-time
questioned
peak
myself.
is 14 million.
Yeah, I should have.
That's like way higher than I thought.
I should have stood my ground. I knew the numbers.
Wow, that's a big number, guys. Why are we concerned?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, does it have to have this crazy robust pro scene? I don't know. It seems like a lot of wasted potential. Sucks, but
oh wow, Fortnite has 78.3 million. Oh, that was in August. What do they have now?
Still, 78 million all-time peak. Jesus Christ, that's pretty phenomenal. That's a lot of people.
No, their all-time peak is 350 million.
What? That's all of America.
Makes sense.
Dude, that's a crazy number. Apparently the Na'Vi CEO was on a podcast the other day. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but he was talking about how CIS is also fucked. Essentially, no sponsors, no money. Every org is losing money, and it's just like, this little growth on the side of EU, and they sort of compete and can play in some of the tournaments, but they're kind of getting squeezed as well.
Yeah,
that's a powerful voice, man. Na'Vi is one of the biggest brands, like, just in esports in general, right? Like, Navi's crazy popular. I've seen their deck before. All of their social medias are in the millions. You know how every deck you put all those numbers together and you make that one bullshit number where you pretend you don't know that there's any crossover between your social media? Theirs is pretty big. It's 10 million plus. It's a lot of followers that you get to dangle in front of influencers, or sponsors rather.
Yeah, true.
Well, so maybe tangential to this conversation, Trent. I saw a Reddit thread that popped up in this last week talking about the last post about seasons in ranked, like the last MMR reset, so to speak, recalibration, whatever you want to call it. That was September 2019, so that was like a year ago, and it said that it'll last for approximately 6 months. I guess kind of two questions there. Are seasons a good thing, and does it fucking matter? Like...
They said that they were already not gonna reset, or like they were thinking about not resetting. They said that like 8 months in, I think, to that season. So I don't think there's any point resetting personally. I mean, I lost like a stupid amount of MMR on the reset, and it just completely like. I mean, I guess I don't play ranked anyway, but I only ever play in party. But my rank went down like 800 MMR just from playing the 10 calibration games and also some bad double downs. But then
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know what's the point. Like if I decided to play ranked, I'm just gonna be way below my MMR. Like
So
I played like one ranked game and I see my allies and I'm just like I don't really feel like playing through this.
it is not uncommon for ladders to have some sort of decay mechanic, usually based on inactivity or whatever, where if you don't
Yeah.
play, that way you can't just jump to the top and then kind of sit there because it can break the MMR system a little bit. I think the main argument is that it compresses the MMR closer to the mean or the median, one of those two, so that the higher numbers aren't as inflated, and it gives the top people something to push against. And now that they're at like 10K, whatever, 11K,
11K,
MMR,
I think people are at now.
it'll compress that top level down to like a 6K max or a 7K max. So then that ladder climb gets to start again. For people in the middle, it doesn't really change that much. It's sort of just a gimmick. It's a marketing kind of thing. Do you think there's any value in that from like a top level perspective, like getting players to grind so that they stream more? Does that create some implicit like more content hours?
Okay, I got this. You ready for this? Okay, I'm okay with resets actually because it does bring people back. That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a farce.
But you make it really obvious, and it's just like those 10 games are worth double the MMR. Is that what it? Do they say that, or is that just what it does do?
That's my understanding of basically how it works. That they weight individual performance higher than the average game, and that they're weighted higher, something like double or so. Yeah. So there's a thing that happens if you're climbing MMR. It's an anti-smurf thing where if you overperform like 4 or 5 games in a row and you're on a win streak, you'll start getting more than plus 30 MMR. You'll get like plus 50 or plus 90 or something if you're
really.
Yeah,
that works in Dota. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, it's relatively new. I think they've implemented it within the last year, but it's very real. So if you get like MVP 5 games in a row and go on a 5-game win streak, you'll notice that you'll start playing up. Like if you're Legend 1, you'll queue against Legend 4 or 5 people. And if you start winning those games, you'll get extra MMR. It's like,
that's good.
Because it's to help Smurfs level out faster. If you just go stomp mid, it kind of makes sense, right?
All right, so here's what I'm saying. You definitely take all the top people and you slam them all back down to like, let's do a percentage-based squish on the top people. So if you're 11K, let's just forget about the numbers. We'll say if you're 11K, you go to like the very top of the new baseline, and we'll set that at like 7.5 or 7 or something.
Okay.
And then everyone gets like a percentage decrease. So like all those people are still like together, but still have their notable hierarchy of where they were before. And then Valve sets a prize for the first person to 10K.
Dude, matchmaking.
Would people be throwing though?
All right, I got to think about that for a second.
Okay, what if it just profile prize? Because people will still compete just as hard for that. So like you get a special like aura around you or something.
Yeah.
And then if you're like top 10 on the leaderboard, you have a constant aura around you while you're playing.
That probably is gameable. If you hired like 10 grinders to power up accounts and then match against you, and if they're on your team, you win, and if they're on the other team, they throw. You could
like, what if you get a trophy for doing it, but your little constant aura is only ever there when you're in the top 10 or like top 20 or whatever, or it's like a different color based on that. So like even if you sold the account, they'd lose it like instantly.
Yeah,
and it doesn't even show an unranked either, just so they can't flex it, just in case they pay for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, putting some sort of incentive like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, well, so
that would introduce pretty neat streams, I bet.
So one thing that I wanted to bring up that I saw this on the Reddit thread about Moon Meander's tweets talking about the lack of system here, and somebody mentioned that they didn't understand how the Heroes of New Earth system worked, but they recognized that it was a failed game and that Moon referenced it. And there were like a lot of facets of what they called Han Tour. That's what it was going to be. And it was their whole model was it was esports for everyone. So it was this tiered system that had like 5 divisions all the way down to probably like the legend bracket or something would be the lowest one. And there was prize money all the way down. And throughout the different seasons, you could move up or move down. So it was this full league, this giant system. It was all run through this massive website that was this huge project to create an overhaul. the issues with it surrounded around mostly the broadcasting and the logistics of trying to figure out how to execute it. But I think the general vision was kind of cool. The problem was that they couldn't make it work functionally, and it was too little money too late in the game once Dota had already kind of been established and League was picking up momentum. So if they had been a more competent studio and business in terms of executing their vision, I think the Hontor system could have set a completely different precedent for esports, and it would be wild to see that at like the $1 million prize pool level where you trickle it down all the way. So it's there's an incentive for players at all level to have a go, and if you can get to the divine level, you can actually, immortal level even, you can actually make a decent amount of money playing the game full time and not have to compete in traditional tournaments. And then that reserves like the S tier of teams for majors and minors in that league. And I think that's a neat vision. And I don't really know why no one's tried it. I guess it is a logistical nightmare. I mean, it's so many matches all the time. And, like ESL and Face It have tried to do these massive bracket open style tournaments. And this would be an open tournament, mind you. Anybody would be able to participate if you're at like the legend level or higher. Fuck, mate. That's that's and like you need a serious admin team for that. And I think S2 severely underestimated the amount of resource it would take to execute. So anyway, I just wanted to rehash that dead concept that nobody even understands anymore. It's like an esports myth of like, here's if New Earth had some big league that they never did. I don't really know what it was. That was the idea behind Hontor. Supposedly, they really fucked up because they had signed conflicting contracts between Twitch and some competing streaming platform like Own3D or something.
Nice.
And they didn't wait for the Twitch contract to end. They signed the other one with like a week or a couple days left, thinking, Twitch won't care. And Twitch did care and sued their asses and tied them up in legal stuff, being like, dude, you just violated our contract. There was a non-compete in there. You can't just sign an exclusive deal with someone else when you're signed exclusive with us. That's what exclusive means. That's a little bit of a rumor, but that was what I was told by an insider. Dude, the Hontor website is actually still live. Wow, they I guess they've done some content in the not too distant past. Look at that.
It's dead now though, right?
I think so. To my knowledge, yes. It's been pretty dinky. It's basically just a tournament in Thailand. That's my understanding what that game has devolved into. But I'm in favor of some sort of radical change like that. Some crazy, like I think the DPC format that we had laid out before COVID was a great step. Like think of that as a spectrum. I think we want to go another big step down that road of like, dude, let's start paying divine level players to play the game. Fuck it, let's go for it. How crazy do we want this thing to get? Let's really incentivize some of the young generation to learn how to play Dota 2.
Oh, I don't want to do that. That sounds crazy.
Well, at some point, we're going to need it, buddy.
I would just like to pay the top teams even would be good. I would like to pay someone outside of the top 10. I think that would still help drive things back to where we were, and it'd be fine.
Big start. Yep, big start.
Yeah. Let's just focus on that for now.
Yeah. Well, I retweeted something the other day as well that there's some gripes for League of Legends North American teams. Apparently, League and A teams are underperforming, with the exception of FlyQuest.
Oh, I did see that retweet.
The LCS Worlds. So a little out of my element. I don't really follow LCS, but interesting that there's similar gripes about the North American players, in that case, sort of being overpaid and underperforming, and the scene just not being very healthy and kind of stagnant compared to the other regions. Maybe it's just North America that's got problems, Trent. Maybe I'm too focused on Dota. We're within a broader system that's breaking down, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely a cost of living thing, I'm sure, for a lot of them, too. It's just like esports, it just doesn't make enough money. And there's no social benefits and shit for that perfect age where you need to, like, get good is just not easy. And plus, a lot of, like, video games just, like, you play with your friends,
Yeah. Well, and I think
we're not a large player base. I guess that doesn't really count for League, to be fair, though.
Well, I think
That's more a Dota problem.
We're realizing too that the lack of physical events is a serious showstopper. So the big ones are going to survive that have some savings and some cash and some backing to be able to still do stuff and operate. But the crazies of the world that were already on a pretty tight budget and operating in this space on a slim margin, they just can't handle it. One of the things that Richard brought up in the last podcast about the Overwatch League was that their whole business model was all in on the grandstands. This idea of selling tickets and doing in-person events. He's like, regardless of how you feel about Overwatch League or all the other mistakes they've made, like even if they did everything else right, this still would have been a showstopper because this is how they make the money back, selling tickets and concessions. And without that,
that's true.
This whole fucking league is just a waste of money.
I actually forgot about Overwatch League.
Yeah. And so, but that's going to be a big
I've
talking
literally
piece.
lived an entire COVID of not even remembering that Overwatch existed.
Dude, yeah, because it's on fucking YouTube and the viewership is god awful. It's averaging like 30 to 40K concurrence now.
Which is embedded. Let's be real.
Dude, it's a dumpster fire. And the issue now is that all like these big investors that put millions into this thing, tens of millions into this thing, are going to Blizzard saying, yo, what are we doing here?
Who could have seen this happening?
Well,
possibly could have predicted
to this extremity.
That
not
this
many
would never
people.
work.
It would have worked better than this for sure. I mean, this is like the worst of the worst of the worst in terms.
Yeah, now
of
they get to
what
blame the
were planning on.
pandemic. I swear to God, if Blizzard gets away with this fucking league, dude,
Yeah, but
I will,
dude. It's gonna get pretty crazy. What happens when these rich team owners go, "This doesn't make sense anymore. I want to sell my franchise," and Blizzard doesn't give them that option, or they can't find anybody to buy it at a premium, and they go, "I would rather just throw this thing in the trash can because it's hemorrhaging money than sell it." It's the JStorm model. Forget about getting a return on our investment. We want to stop the bleeding on our investment. So just pulling the plug right now is actually the best value option that we have. Whoa, that's a scary cascade effect when you're talking about Overwatch.
Yeah.
All these brands that were created just for Overwatch. Oh, man.
They got hit so hard. They got pandemicked and they got Valoranted.
Yes.
Are they done? Are they over? I didn't even think of that.
Also, one thing Richard mentioned that I had forgotten about is that even when they started it was a 5-year plan. Overwatch League was, hey, this is our 5-year plan. And he said they're just not going to renew it. Basically, that 5 years is going to end, and they're going to go, well, that was a failed experiment. Thanks, everybody, for picking up the check. It's been real. We're going to go make another game now and keep collecting World of Warcraft subscriptions. Oh yeah,
shit.
We're
You're
Activision
so right.
Blizzard. We sell Call of Duty games out the wazoo, and that league's kicking ass. So sorry, dipshits. Thanks for doing the beta test for our Call of Duty league, though. If you want to buy into that, we might be able to do an expansion franchise in the near future. Let us know. Actually, no, our people will call your people. Yeah.
You get a discount if you bought.
We'll let you know.
Franchise.
In fact, Robert Kraft, stand by. And that's what's going to happen for real. I think Richard called it pretty accurately, and I'm hard pressed to disagree. Blizzard's going to play it cool.
Pretty good.
They're going to do the corporate thing. They're going to send that poor fucking press secretary out there who's just like, and today we are like, I brought up the Heroes of the Storm parallel.
No, you ready? I can actually do the speech. The Overwatch League has been a massive success. 5 years ago, we laid out the plan for the first North American esports league with in-person tournaments, and we love seeing all your friendly faces there. Because of the success, the Call of Duty League has really taken off, and we can't wait to show you that. But now, how about our new game roll trailer? And then Overwatch just dies. That's it.
Exactly.
You move all the Overwatch heroes to an MMO, and Overwatch just quietly fades in the back.
Yep.
That's it.
I think Blizzard needs to break off. They need to rejoin Mike Morhaime in his new studio. They need to leave Activision and the shell of Blizzard left. They can have it. Enjoy your IPO and your stock price. Let Call of Duty be its own thing. It's been great. Activision, they've got a brilliant business model. They've got millions of subscribers to this game and esports league that just keeps buying the same game over and over. It's fucking brilliant. It's amazing that it's worked so well, and credit to them. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but from what I've seen, it seems like their esports league is really overperforming the expectations at this point.
Yeah, what's called Dreamhaven is Mike's new studio.
Dreamhaven, that's it. Yeah, you're right.
I want to watch some of that.
I want to give them a follow on Twitter.
Me too. It was just doing the same thing.
That's a good standby for that. I hope they build an RTS game. I was optimistic for Warcraft 4 until the debauchery of Reforged, and now I kind of hope Activision Blizzard doesn't do it, and we see a not rip off, but pretty fucking close rip off of what Warcraft 4 should be. And dude, we could have a new RTS on our hands. That would be really cool.
Oh man, that would be kind of cool. Although I don't know if I'm cut out for RTSs.
Yeah, they're fun, but it can't be your only game. Playing those solo, really mechanical games gets so mentally draining. They're very tiresome.
Yeah, that's fair. Although solo no teammates games are also very fun. I get so addicted to like the idea of the self growth and the self, like it's so much easier to do in a 1v1 game. You know?
Yes,
Like,
for sure.
obviously, I know I'm learning stuff when I play more Dota and everything, but like when I play Melee and I like develop a new tech in the training room for 40 minutes every day for like 2 weeks, and then I go online and I play a match and I shield drop back air some guy, or I jump out and like shine, turn around, double jump back air to like slide off combo or some shit, I'm like popping off and hitting the ceiling because I did one new tech, you know, and I don't have to rely on any teammates.
Yeah.
You know. Just feels good, man.
I mean, I get those vibes from PoE when you're crushing maps and you just keep going up, harder content, and your character's still growing. Like it's very satisfying because you know that you made that character. Like this was all me. I'm playing solo. I min-maxed it. I made the mistakes. I took the deaths to learn this shit.
Yeah,
I feel ya. Single player games can definitely be satisfying, but it's like the 1v1 combat part of StarCraft. Like StarCraft ladder anxiety is very real, more than Dota, sure. I think. I get it in Dota a little bit, but I remember feeling like in StarCraft, just like, oh God, is my 4-gate going to work this time? Oh no. Don't reveal that I'm actually not good. The other issue with Dota right now, Trent, is that Europe is getting not fun to watch. We need a storyline of somebody that can fucking tear down this secret reign of dominance.
It's okay. In order for a reign of dominance to be torn down, one has to exist. So it's okay, guys. Secret can just keep winning because it just gets better and better every time. That's how you got to think about it. That's the new narrative we need to push.
I guess. I saw somebody write it in Discord the other day of like, man, these matches are just brutal. It's like watching the big kid pick on the weak ones. You know, like
the last 3-0ing was painful. That we cast that one, right?
We did. Ugh. And I remember talking in the Discord as well, just kind of like, man, it's hard to hype it up when, okay, game 1 is pretty good. It's genuinely back and forth for 25 minutes, and then they lose. Game 2, pretty one-sided, but still you can sort of see what they're doing. Game 3 is like, I don't really know why we're still playing. This thing was over at 6 minutes. And there's a degree of like, you want to hype up this epic finals, but it seems disingenuous to yell in that game 3 when it's like, they're diving the tier 2s at 8 minutes. Let's see what happens here, Trent. Another triple kill for Nisha. Whoa. You know, it's like...
I have to say, I've noticed that there has been some unacceptable levels of hype lately in some casts. To the point where I was like, okay, ease off.
Yeah.
It's not that exciting.
And it is really hard. I get it too, and it's a balance, and I recognize there's that expectation with Dota casting and stuff, but it's it feels like you're getting criticism at all sides, where if you're too hype, people say it's fake, and if you're not hype enough, then it's like, where's OD Pixel? This guy's boring. He doesn't care about the finals. It's like, no, I care. I wish the team that's losing cared as much as I do, because, geez, they have already given up here in Game 3. My God. So,
although some people are good at it in the sense that, like, how do I describe it? It's like they're not yelling and screaming of the like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? It's more like the yelling and screaming involved in like, oh my God, they're cutting them in two. Like that's how you have to do it. You know what I mean? That's the key.
Yeah.
You don't do it as if it's like some big surprise. You just do it as just like, oh, they're so good. You're getting destroyed. Like, or just, you know, maybe don't say you're getting destroyed because we're supposed to be more positive about the opponents. But yeah.
Is that a thing? You trying to be more positive about the opponents?
Well, I mean, your main talking point of why Secret good should not be these guys suck. That's all I mean. It's okay to say they're getting destroyed, but you shouldn't be like, why are they so bad? It's like you don't understand what Secret's doing to these guys, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they're playing so many games. Like when you watch from the other team's perspective, when you go back in the replay and you realize that those 3 heroes it looked like the guy walked into 3 heroes when in reality those 3 heroes were perfectly on his exact like triangle fog of war and all came out at one time. It doesn't look quite as stupid, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're playing around vision that is harder to appreciate when we're looking at our God view, for sure. I like to use the word outclassed a lot in those situations because it sounds a little less like mean. It's just like, man, they're kind of playing on another level, and to some degree, that's just a statement of fact. That's not even really a knock on the opposition.
Yeah.
What's the record now? So it's 8 series that they've gone 3-0 in the grand finals. That's 24 games. That's their streak right now. That's nuts. That's insane. They've swept 8 grand finals series. And some of these are big events. The Omega League was $200,000. Dota Pit was $70,000. Beyond Epic, $80,000. Bounty Hunt was $50,000. Dude.
Go Secret.
Go Secret. What's Puppy going to do with all this money?
Apparently start a Filipino team. I don't know what it is, though. I don't know what
I
game
bet
they're
it's
doing.
mobile esports, dude. 100%.
Yeah, but don't they already have? I thought they already had a lot of the mobile esports. I don't even know which one's left.
In
I think it might
Secret?
be a Dota Philippines thing.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
But I guess there's no point double investing, is there?
Well, you could set up like Team Secret C, and it's like, a separate headquarters, separate training facility. It's on the other side of the globe.
Yeah,
so
but then they can't both go to TI or whatever.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. You're right. Okay, so yeah, I think it's mobile.
I guess
games,
that isn't
dude.
Dota then.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like they were almost teasing like it would be Dota with some of the stuff they were dropping.
So they do PUBG Mobile. That's what Secret does mostly. But like Mobile Legends and some of the others, like I think it's going to be Wild Rift, dude. Are you ready? I'm ready to make this shift. Do you want to cast mobile games? Do you want to make the big money, Trent?
No.
Wild Rift, it's coming. The beta's happening in Southeast Asia. Sorry?
That League?
That is League. Yeah, that's going to be the proper League Mobile. It's going to take over Southeast Asia and South America and probably India and maybe China.
I just can't get. No, I can't get behind that.
Come on, buddy. Ride or die. Let's go.
I can get on it to the level necessary if they'll pay me the big bucks. Yes, but
All right.
I'm not full shift.
Let me.
You get a contact. You hit me up.
Let me reach out to a few people.
10 hours, and I'll be good enough to cast it.
Okay. So
10 hours notice.
All right. So I have your permission to put your face in a deck and send it to.
Yeah, throw me a dog.
Okay.
Always down to make some cash.
Okay. The Pokemon MOBA, I am excited for, but I doubt Nintendo will be.
Play that on stream so ironically, and it's gonna be fucking amazing. I can't wait to start screaming Pokemon commands.
Yes, me as well. I think
It's gonna be so comical.
the hype is real.
We're definitely duo queuing some Pokemon Unite, dog.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, to me, that's the perfect green room game. We're playing on our Switches, sitting in the back.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's perfect.
It looks so bad. I've never played a mobile game. Like, I don't like what mobile games do I have on my phone? I play like Super Nintendo games on my phone. I don't know what mobile games I actually play.
You've never played Mobile Legends Bang Bang?
No.
Oh, Trent.
I don't think I've ever played an only mobile game. No. I don't have any.
I guess Underlords is probably as close as you've gotten, yeah.
Yeah, but I played it on PC. So yeah, I mean, if you count that as a mobile game.
Yes, because the way it's designed, it's pretty fucking mobile-y.
That's true.
It doesn't feel like a PC game.
I did play. I mean, also look how big my phone is, though. Which also was at 2% battery, so good thing it's plugged in.
I can't tell. Is it big or small?
It's super small.
Oh, okay.
That's my iPhone. Well, I guess I have a small head. I don't know. What? I don't have anything for scale. Here's a Night Stalker plushie. You guys all have these from TI, right? There. That's how big it is. It's the same size as that. These guys are pretty small.
I've got the big boy phone.
You got the giant one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got the wide one. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm struggling to find the words about this, like this secret dynasty right now. It's how has this happened? I guess, like, what do you attribute it to? Why is it happening? Is it just because of COVID? Like, how are they so dominant? It's because they haven't changed their roster? Is it because the competition isn't as fierce? Like, what would you say is your tier list of factors that have contributed to this 24-game grand finals streak?
That is a pretty ridiculous streak. You're not wrong. I mean, who have they even lost to lately? Like they lost. I remember one set to Viking GG and one set to. Oh, jeez, I don't even know. I think they lost a game to Liquid, maybe.
Let's see. I was gonna pull up their Dota buff. That's probably the best place to look. They lost a weird game in Dota Pit.
Oh yeah, they lost to Unique too. That's true. I mean, they dropped a game to OG. Wow, they dropped a game to VP Project. I remember that. That was the first game we cast of
Yep.
of the league when they first picked Spirit Breaker. That was a good meme. Oh yeah, they lost one game to Liquid and one game to OG in all of Omega League. Damn, that's insane.
And looks like they were flawless.
And they got 2-0 by Liquid in Beyond Epic before 3-0ing Nigma in the grand finals.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. That was the last series they lost, was Liquid.
And 4 months ago, they lost a game to OG in whatever that event is. Is it?
The Bounty Blast?
Oh, that might be it. Yeah, okay. That was a weird one.
I mean, they also got 2-0 by Nigma in Beyond Epic too.
Yeah.
In the group. So yeah, that's nuts.
So these other top EU teams have taken some series, some games, but only at moments where Secret have buffer. At the truly the test when it counts, they have stepped up and executed a flawless grand finals 8 times in a row. This is way beyond variance. There's no like, this is lucky or they had a good bracket. Like this is fucking next level.
I guess I don't necessarily have a good answer because you look at someone like OG, like what was that upper bracket final? They take one game, and then the grand finals they don't take a single game. Like, what does that say about? Isn't OG one of the best teams you would think at that sort of adaptation? Like, I know they're not the same OG, but you still have a lot of that brain power between Seb and Mad. That I would have expected better for sure. And so I guess they really are just better. I mean, it sounds kind of stupid, but it seems that currently with this patch, maybe it's just something about the way that like the gold distribution fits really well with their play style and how they are so good at doing that. I think the key to them has been for the past like 2 years. First off, their cores are all insanely good. There's no doubt about that. Nisha's a god. They're super annoying to play against. He's got a really good hero pool. They're very hard to draft against. But I think aside from all the just like the individual player skill, their meta ideas about the spread between 3 and 4 and even 5, like Puppy's own gold, has always set them apart from enemy teams since like ESL1 Hamburg was the one where I really remember seeing it just like over and over from them, where they just constantly prioritize this idea of putting more gold on Yapsor, right? It all started with that classic every stolen kill with Fade Bolt early on as Rubik. That was the meme, right? He would always have like 4 or 5 kills at the start of every game. And he'd rush that Blink or that Yules or that Force Staff. And they've stayed very true to that style. It's not like other teams where they like jump around and they kind of mix things up. Like they've been playing that same style for like almost 3 years. Oh, no, it'd be 2 years. It'd be October of 2018.
Yeah. Agreed with all that. And one factor that we can't deny is that Nigma has still not been playing in their full form. Kuroki is still out from sickness. How long has he been out now? It's been months, right?
Yeah, it's been like 3 months, 3 or 4 months now.
So yeah, that is honestly a contributing factor. Nigma has looked pretty good without Kuroki. I think we've been pretty complimentary of their ability to stay composed without their key captain. Makes you wonder if he had been around, if Nigma maybe could have put up a better fight to at least stop this flawless streak from Secret, take him to a game 4 or a game 5 in some of these grand finals, if they had Kuro at the helm. But also a moment where I would love to see Secret, PSG, LGD, and Quincy crew all square off.
China, please.
Now that you've seen a little China, thoughts about LGD versus Secret. How do you think that best of 5 goes? Do you think Secret actually looks better?
Secret just crushes them. There's no comparison. I don't have any fair way to compare it. And I don't have enough data personally on LGD. Like, sure, they've looked really good and they've been crushing too, but it's not that same like Secret crushing because we've just seen it so consistently. LGD definitely looked good. I would want to watch that series times 1,000. But I would still give the edge to Secret. I would say like 60-40 or 65-35.
Let me see. I'm trying
When
to.
does 4 play? First off, when's the next China? It's still so long till China. We still have to go over that whole debacle.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole tale.
So let's dive into that in a moment here. I just looking at the PSG LGD results. They just recently won the China Dota 2 Pro Cup Season 1. Looks like they took fourth in the DPL CDA Professional League. They kind of bombed out of the last Dota Pit China 2 months ago. And Beyond Epic China in June looks like they placed fourth. So they've looked good, and they did win Birmingham, ESL won Birmingham, and they also won the earlier China Dota 2 Professional League. So they have
that was the old team though.
Sorry,
that was the old team.
Oh,
all new now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're right. They've looked very good since they've switched, but yeah, not even close to the Secret Dynasty. So
good though. I mean, in the end, yeah.
So,
regions.
What are the deets? Yeah.
All right. So, for all of you who are out of the loop, although I'm sure most of you probably know this, I can at least give you the full time frame as to what has happened. 4 a.m., which I believe stands for 4 Angry Men, if I'm not mistaken, is a China PUBG squad originally, from what I understand. That's where they made their mark. 4 Angry Men, yep. And so now they have moved from the profit of that into a Dota roster is their goal. And they're putting that into some superstars. They're basically doing, you remember the original Team Secret where you just got all the good players? That's pretty much what these guys are trying to do. So you have a lot of players that were leaving their contracts. And are they even listed? Oh, they're already listed on Wikipedia. So they were all leaving their contracts. Everyone got connected. Oh, jeez, it still lists Sylar on Wikipedia. So this is what happened. The rumor was that it was going to be Red Panda on the 5. He's definitely the least known of these guys. He was someone who was in that Royal system for a long time. Not RNG, Team Royal. The other one that looked like it, that with like OP, yeah. SRF, DDC, those guys. Anyway, so he's the position 5. He's the least well-known of this superstar. But then you have FY, you have Yang, you have Maybe, and the rumor was that it was going to be Paparazzi / Eurus, which everyone's like, holy shit, that's a fucking stacked-ass team. Like, you're getting like the best of the best from numerous teams. That like you're getting the 1 and the 3 from VG that were insanely good, and the 2 and the 4 from LGD that were insanely good. And so everything just seems amazing. Plus Red Panda. But then 4 Angry Men put out the statement saying, welcome to our new team. And instead of it being Paparazzi, it was Sylar. And everyone's like, whoa, what? The rumors have been it was going to be Paparazzi for like 2 months now. And so everyone thought it was going to be Paparazzi. And then it was Sylar all of a sudden. And then the next day, the post was deleted by 4 Angry Men. And I don't know if there's been any official word. I think it is official at this point now, though, from like the players streaming, essentially, that now it will be Paparazzi. So, all right, what happened?
Oh.
Are you aware?
I am not aware. Do you have the inside scoop here, or is that a genuine question?
Articles and stuff that have been coming out. There's a new one today. The VG Gaming co-owner, one of the minor, I think he has like a minor stake or something. It started to discuss it. So he claims the root of the problem was with their partner of 4 a.m. A company of which he didn't have any good words to say. The umbrella company is called Elephant that owns 4 Angry Men. So whenever he says Elephant, he's referencing the people that essentially own 4 Angry Men. And he said, Elephant just kept reneging on the deal all the time, stressing on the fact that the 1.5 million yen transfer fee was a known fact from before the new year. And so then essentially what happened was there was supposed to be this big transfer fee. And then all of a sudden, when they were going to announce their team and everything, Vici, allegedly, this was the original story, was that 4 Angry Men now decided that the buyout for Vici was too high. They don't want to pay for it from Paparazzi. And so they're just going to get Sylar instead. And now Vici are claiming like that's complete bullshit. Like you guys had already agreed like numerous times that this was happening. And now you're just making some stupid stink. And it worked. That's the worst part. So
So
maybe is told by management, hey, we can't get paparazzi. Can you get anyone else? And so he asks Sylar, and Sylar's like, yeah, I would love to play on this team. And so they send Sylar the paperwork. He hasn't signed the contracts yet or anything. And then Four Angry Men then tell the team, oh, psych, never mind. We are actually going to pay the transfer fee.
So it is actually paparazzi, not Sylar.
Yeah, it is actually paparazzi. Sylar's not playing on the team. In the end, according to the VG co-owner person, the transfer fee was eventually paid by Elephant, but not before paparazzi himself became a bit impulsive and wanted to pay the transfer fee himself just to end all this mess.
Wow.
Yeah, so they finally paid it. And now he's claiming, the VG guy's claiming that they cut some of the players' salary to make up for it, but I don't think the players have actually stated that. That was a rumor at first, so no one really knows the truth, I guess.
Has
Has
that ever happened before where a player has bought out his own contract with his own money just to end a dispute? Wow.
Yeah. So that's essentially the spark notes there. I know it's all a little confusing, but to go back over it, essentially, rumor about 5-man roster. Suddenly, one of the players isn't there. Expensive buyout. Team reneges on deal. Gets Sylar. Sylar gets fucked. Oh yeah, for sure in real sports, professional sports. Someone's probably done it in esports, I'm sure.
I was thinking more Dota specifically.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, poor Sylar, man.
Yeah, that sucks. And was Sylar just a free agent? Was he on a team?
I think he's just a free agent.
Yeah. Looks like he was inactive, listed under eHome. He might have had a contract. Wow.
Poor Sylar.
Well, thank you for that summary. I had caught pieces of that, but I would not have been able to regale the entire thing from top to bottom. So,
Did you know he came third at TI twice? I didn't know that. Go Sylar.
that
He came third at TI2 for a cool 150K, and then third at TI5 for 2.2 million.
yeah.
I came second at I guess at TI. Wow, man, he was really close. I actually never thought about that for Sylar, that he came third, second, third. That kind of sucks because he was on that VG squad too versus newbie.
1.2 million lifetime earnings from prize pool.
Not bad, not bad. Wanted some more though.
Yeah, I mean the salaries are crazy in China though. So for those players, it's like whatever that number is, there's a lot more that gets added to the bottom line, plus endorsements and shit.
Yeah, the director, Zhao Wait. Yeah, good times, man.
Yeah.
Oh, here, I want to pitch you something. All right, since I assume we're done on that topic, I've been thinking. Have I discussed to you about this idea of just like watching old Dota? Do you know? I don't know. I was ranting about this on my stream the other day. To me, it's like, the more I get into Melee, the more I go back and watch old tournaments because I want to learn stuff and I want to see stuff. And there's fucking thousands of hours of content. How much? And like, they actually still get watched. People go back and watch them because Melee hasn't changed. The meta has changed. Yes, the rules in some cases have changed, but the game hasn't changed, right? Like the basic fundamentals of the game have not changed. What? Like, do you ever go back and have you ever watched a Dota tournament from a year ago?
No.
From 4 months ago, even.
Only for selfish reasons. Only if I'm like making a deck or I'm looking at old MOONDUCK content or something. But no, not just like, hey, I remember TI6. I'm going to go rewatch that match that was really cool. No, I've never done that.
I've never even rewatched a TI. I've never done that. Like,
no.
It's insane to me. And there's again, there's parts that I love about Dota times 1,000. I'm not saying I don't want Dota to change. That's not what I'm getting at. That's part of what makes it so hard to watch it, I think, and makes it less interesting because we're all more invested in this idea of like what's happening next. And like, it almost feels like people that watch Dota are always trying to improve their own Dota in some way. I guess I kind of feel that way. So like watching what's happening now, it inspires you to go and try that, first pick carry Elder Titan or whatever. But man, there is such a humongous gap. And I know like BTS has tried before with their like replay streams and stuff. And like, why is there a stream of Dota 2 24/7 that shows pubs and not one that shows old Dota games that like surely these companies own the rights for example? Like, why doesn't BTS have a BTS Classic stream that just 24/7 runs all their old tournaments.
So I think they tried that. I'm 99% sure they
I
did.
think they did too.
Star Ladder does that, and it just nobody gives a
And
shit.
no one cares.
Right.
But why? Why do we not care so much?
Well, so what if we put it? You got to repackage it. I think just rebroadcasting it
Yeah, 100%.
doesn't have any real appeal. So I don't know.
Good. That's good.
Are you like pitching this event like you and I go pull up some old replays and like rewatch
I mean,
these?
I'm definitely going to be doing that. I've got a lot of time right now. there's not a lot of tournaments going on, so I definitely plan on bringing up the old content. I guess the idea is like, what does make it more interesting? As you're saying, repackaging 100%. It's like this idea of giving context to the games, right? Would I watch old NFL broadcasts for just random games? Yeah, actually, I've done that before.
Isn't there a channel like that on ESPN?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that.
And that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, old boxing fights. And even when you know the results, it's still so watchable.
Right.
It's like the same thing as Melee. It's just so watchable. Like I'm enthralled the whole time. I don't care if I know who wins. There's just so many tiny moments, and Dota has that too. Maybe it's partly because Dota has this big arc. Is it really a TI problem? Oh God, can I really blame this on TI too, or TI as well? I mean, as in like this idea that because everything's so pushed towards TI, that all we care about is like winning that next TI and who's the best right now and who's going to take that TI, and nothing else matters in the past other than who won that year's TI.
Is
that actually real?
That is definitely an element.
Kind of real. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. No, that's definitely an element. I think that's very real.
Think.
Yeah. I don't know, buddy. I'm down. I mean, I don't know what the demand is, but I think it could be cool to try to contextualize like a now versus then thing. Watch like some of the best matches of old.
I just want to go watch Wings. Like, is that so wrong? Like, should it be team focused? I guess it could be team or like tournament focused. But like, I could be down to watch 10 Wings games in a row.
Yeah. I would say pick a theme, whether it's a team or an event or like a specific hero or a specific strategy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm 100% in on that. Let's watch some Wings games.
Yeah, let's do it. Now, here's the problem. Getting that done is not easy. I have been working on this for a little while. I mean, mind you, it's very intermittent work, but it's really frustrating. And that's why I stop every time, because you're trying to make this stupid client work unless you're going to just watch the YouTube videos from Dota, which I don't know. Maybe I'll just message Bruno. Bruno, can I use all the footage of TI6, please? Yeah, I don't care.
Well, I think you might just be able. Oh yeah, all right. The YouTube videos are weird because it is their actual production, but I would argue that is so old and so not valuable and being used for anything that it's adaptive enough if we're like talking over the video. Like the content is the contextualization of the games. Then
put our faces over it too. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Exactly. It's like the content is us comparing it to contemporary Dota. It's not just restream. Like, you know, I think that's transformative. Something that's 6 years removed.
And we have to meet all the casters anyway now.
Yeah.
All the old ones that are gone.
Because I don't know. What do?
Yeah.
You make the client like you get old versions that you have to install to get the replays or whatever. You have to match client versions.
That was part of the problem before. I was trying to deal with like the audio and stuff too. Like, I guess ideally I'm just getting rid of all the old audio, but I want the game sounds if I'm using the YouTube. See, that's the problem. You don't get, so that's why I'm trying to get the client. That's the hardest thing.
Fuck. That's true.
But yeah, so I've heard, well, anyway, I'll talk about this later, but I think I've got ways to make it work.
Okay. Well, let me know, because I think that sounds cool. I've been trying to think of different types of content that I can do on stream that's not just me playing pubs, because stuff like this sounds way more fun and engaging than, you know, my shitty Dota plays. Like casting.
You want to move on to the Trent schedule, huh?
Dude.
Start getting up at 6 a.m.?
Kind of, actually. I could probably start doing that. I've been pretty close to it. I mean, casting Slacks' pubs is actually pretty fun, but the problem is it's not that regular, and I'm reliant on his schedule, so I need more content that we could just, like, you know, okay,
pubs.
You know, today we're going to cast or look at these old Wings games or, you know, whatever. I'm down for any kind of stream event, man. Let's fucking do it.
Okay. Well, we'll work on something. But
right.
I want to watch old Dota. I want to, like, there's so many people that have never seen those games. I mean, there's games I've never seen. I've never watched TI2 or TI1.
Same.
I came in during TI3.
Same. I haven't seen any of the TI1 or TI2 footage beyond just little clips.
Yeah, same.
That'd be fun.
The play.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up.
Tie a bow on it.
Yeah. We're doing Among Us Moonduck style this coming weekend. Look out for announcements around that. I think that'll be on Saturday or Sunday. I forget which day I posted. That will be fun, though. Check out the other podcasts. The Zyori Plus Ones are at youtube.com/ZyoriTV, and the Trent and Zyoris, youtube.com/moonducktv. And I think that's it.
Oh yeah, Slacks is doing Dirt Mall this weekend, by the way, versus Piri and Flax.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
you should get in on casting that shit.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, we're casting Dirt Mall, baby.
Cast. Although, don't they call each other and cast their people shitting the bed? So I guess never mind. Maybe you don't cast that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll figure it out. Okay. There's a place for everyone at Dirt Mall. All right, gang.
Oh.